Hello, S3 students, here's Miss San. So today we're going to do an artwork. It is called optical art. So I'm going to show you your worksheets that we have uploaded on the Google Classroom, and also I will introduce what materials and the steps of making of it. So if you look at the worksheets that you have, it is telling you about optical art and perspective drawing, some of the basic knowledge of it. And then you can check it out for the following link that you will find a very famous artist who is called MC Asha. Then you can find some very optical illusion artwork that made by him, and then so that you can have more ideas of what we are going to do. And then you will have one assignment to do, which is we will using some paper strip to make a very easy optical art. So if you don't have any papers or color papers at home, you can also use recycled paper, like for example if you have magazine or newspaper or any papers that found at your home which can use in this artwork, then you can apply it. So now I'm going to introduce what materials you are going to have. So I have just told you that you need papers. So make sure that it is at least in A4 size so that you can later on you can cut it into different strips. And then you need cutter, or if you have scissors at home you can use it. And then also you have to get a pencil. And also if you at your home, if you have a light or a lamp, you can use it, because later on we have to do some lighting effect. So if you don't have a lamp at home, so you can also use your mobile phone. That is a function that's with a torch, then you can use it as the lighting. So after this video, I'm going to show you the steps of making the optical art. Okay, so S3 students, now I'm going to show you how to do this optical illusion art with different materials. So in your task, you have to think of a phrase or a word that is positive. For example, you can write cheer up or dear or peace or something like that. So make sure it has some positive meaning in the word itself. And then after design your word, then you can think about how to cut out the strip into this thickness. So for me, I would like it to be a little bit thicker because later on we have to fold it into different shapes. So mine is in 2 cm. So after cutting the number of your words that you need, then you have to measure the length of the paper in order to fold it. For example, like my example or your example in your worksheet, which is the same. So here you will see the word ADVERSE, but actually it is just the folding of the paper. For this shading part, it is projected by the light. So what you have to do, then you have to think about how many lines that you have to cut on the paper in order to fold it into this shape. For example, this is the letter A, right? But the line here actually is skipped. It will be replaced by the shadows. So what you have to count is how many sides that you have to make. For A, you will see here, we have one, even though it is hidden, but you have to use your imagination. In 3-dimensional space, actually it is appeared. So 1 side, 2 side, 3 side, 4, and 5. So totally you have 5 sides to make. So because it's a bit difficult to imagine sometimes, for me, I will easily draw a line, draw a rectangle, just try to simulate the shape of the strip here. And then I have to decide, this side is the first side, right? The first side is a bit shorter. So I have to make sure that the first line that I draw is shorter. However, this line is comparatively long, so the second one will be longer. And then here it is a shorter one, so it is similar to my first one, but it is the third. And then here, this line actually, by your eyesight, actually is more or less the same. So this one is the 4th, and then the last one is the 5th. It's also not that long. So after you have this concept in your mind that will be easier for you to make on this rib. So afterward, then I use this rib. Then you can see that for the example here, the word can put it in an upper part or lower part is up to you. But if you want to make your artwork more lively, so I would suggest you to make it up and down, and like this. For example, when I'm making the letter A, so I would like to make it in the upper one. And then first of all, I have to measure for the first line that I would like to draw. It is, I will start from this part, which is a bit upper, and then 1 cm, it is the first part, okay? And I turn to number 2 here, the line is longer than the first one, so I have to measure, maybe I need up to 4 cm for the second part. And then the third part, it is shorter, so I will also measure like 1 cm, just like the first one. And then the other one, also 1 cm. And then the last one, 1 cm. Okay? So after have this marking, then it will be easier for you to fold up the lines. So if you don't have a cutter at home, you can just extend the lines and then to fold it by hand. But for me, if I would like my lines to be sharp and clear, sometimes I will use the cutter to help me. So if you have a cutter at home, what you can do, you can slightly just cut a very thin and slightly line. So you will see that after you're cutting a line, but not cutting the whole paper, then you can fold the paper easily and the lines is sharper. So according to the marking, then you can cut the line. Okay, so you will see that after cutting the line, then you can fold up the word more easily. So after folding the shape, then what you have to do is you can use a blue tack to stick it up. So for my example here, you will see that below the paper, actually I use a blue tack, or if you don't have a blue tack at home, you can also use tape to stick the paper together. So you will see my design just like the example, it is up and down, up and down. So after making of it, then you need the lamp or you have the torch or any light devices that you have, then you can project the light into it. So for example here, we got a light source here. So that you have to somehow maybe change the angle of the light. So you will see the shading or the shadow of the words will be obvious. Then afterward, you can take a picture and then to upload the picture into the Google Classroom, and this will be your assignments of your first worksheets. Okay, so this is the end of the lesson. Hope you can finish your assignment on time. See you.